Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. It is Wednesday. It is back to work Wednesday for the Chicago Bears. Press conferences have already concluded at Halas. We got a lot to talk about. From what happened, we heard from Matt Eberflus, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore. We will hear from Nicholas Moreano, who is at Halas, and it's a Baldy Wednesday. So Brian Baldinger will join us in about 30 minutes. What's going on, Bears fans? Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. with you today. I'd like to start the show by personally apologizing to Mark. I shot down all of his bad ideas a little too harshly in the pre-show meetings, and I could have been nicer about it. So I'm sorry, Mark.
First of all, don't call me Mark. It freaks me out. Second of all, you can apologize again for calling them bad ideas. Third of all, you can thank me for being such a great person, friend, and brilliant teammate for you. Fourth of all, I thought that your ideas were better, Adam. Of course, I didn't have the benefit of listening to the press conference when I put stuff in. Yesterday, you complained there wasn't anything in Notion. Today, I put a lot in Notion. Today, you complain.
He really can't take his apology in stride.
No, I cannot.
Okay. I deserve this today. I'm taking it. I'm okay.
Today,
I'm okay with it.
Yesterday was there's not enough in Notion. There's not anything in Notion because Hoge doesn't even like what I put in Notion. He's annoyed how it goes in Notion because Hoge's very anal with these things.
I also don't like Notion.
It doesn't like Notion. So today, after the Notion complaint, today I put a lot in Notion. Then it was in the wrong part of Notion, and then it wasn't a good topic, even though it was a really good topic. We'll talk about it another time.
This could have been 20 seconds, but
no, we needed the full 28. See, more anality.
Today's going to be all I'm asking for, Carm, is a little bit of bold,
right,
and like some bullet points, and then what we all see when we walk into our meeting, and we're like, "What the hell is all these 1,000 words?" It would just make a little bit more sense. That's all I'm saying.
Bold and bullet points, you got it. No problem.
And
I'll be better.
Also, I just wanted to give our new guy Tony Gill like an accurate picture of what our pre-show meetings are like. I think he got it today.
I was terrified as it was happening. I'm like, please, let's not show him what we're up to right away. He's gonna leave.
Yesterday it was Braggs telling Cole Kmet that this guy doesn't like your teammate, Torrey Taylor. Today it was Hoge telling the new guy who's I'm trying to build respect for, that he thinks I know what I'm doing. This guy's just a complete idiot.
If there's one thing we've perfected, it's bus tossing each other.
Well, next week we can double deck bus.
Yeah, the double-decker bus.
London's going to be great.
Don't worry about it.
One of us isn't making us home.
I'm secure in my...
3 hosts enter London. Only one will survive. Who will it be?
I'm worried you're not even going to show up, Greg.
I'm not.
Because you're going to Paris first.
Yeah.
Well, we learned today before the show...
Amsterdam and to never return.
We learned today before the show that Greg is, at least I learned before today's show, that Greg's afraid to fly. So shout out to Jenny, who will be sitting with his beautiful wife. Is Addie coming too?
No.
Just Jenny? Okay. So shout out to your wife who's going to sit with someone for 8 hours who doesn't like flying. That sounds horrible. I would have made you go by yourself.
He's going to be fine. Everything's going to be...
This guy will not be fine.
He will be fine.
It's going to be annoying as hell. It's gonna be,
yeah. I just got done giving him a pep talk. Don't ruin it.
You're gonna do great, Greg.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great flight. I love it.
All right, let's talk about these press conference. Interesting. We heard from Caleb Williams and DJ Moore back to back, and this continues to be a topic of conversation. And to me, it's gotten to the point now where it's like, I feel like there's been enough opportunities for the Bears to shoot this down, and it hasn't really happened.
They shoot it up.
They really do. Well, let's let them talk for themselves. So, the big play that seems to be every week it's the NFL. There's one play that everybody gets fixated on, and for good reason, because it was right before halftime, and it seemed like Caleb and DJ still to this morning believe that they should have had a touchdown connection out of it. And Caleb kind of threw a fastball through the sideline, and DJ was not there yet, and there was a safety coming over the top, whatever. So what exactly happened on that play? Let's hear from Caleb first.
The safety was tucked in, and that corner made DJ go inside. They were in some sort of too high shell kind of thing, and I don't know if that corner played it bad or if they were just in cover two specifically. But I, reading it through the drop back, and when I was dropping back, saw DJ go inside. Thought DJ was going to keep it a little bit more, vertical. He went back out. So just not on the same page. I wouldn't say it's somebody's fault. I think just us not being on the same page. We went over to the sideline, obviously let everything calm down because I'm frustrated. He's frustrated. We both want to, make that moment and go score right before half, especially because that's big for any game, as y'all may know, being able to score before going into half. And so, having that moment, letting everything calm down, go talk to him after, just get on the same page so that when it does happen again, that we hit for a big one going into half. And you never know what game or, when it might happen. I may in a few games late in the season and be like, you remember when we played versus the Rams and they gave us that, that shot before half. Let's, if they give us that again, let's be on the same page kind of thing. So, us just be on the same page, getting on the same page. It's early in the season and, we're finding it definitely and finding, what works best for both of us.
So, my first reaction there is confirmation that both sides were frustrated. My initial reaction to that is good.
Yep.
I want players who care. I want players who want to get this thing figured out. And so I don't necessarily think this is a big problem. I also love how Caleb, and I know Carman, you want to make this point too, is just how he talks about plays like that and can break them down like that.
Yeah, so if we pulled that like mid clip and he was asked about the play and he's like, well, which one? Because there were two. There was one at the north end. There was one at the south end. So he's got both possibilities instantly queued up in his mind, and then he's able to run you through the play with incredible detail. And what I loved about it the most is that when you talk about elite quarterbacks, you have to have an elite mind. And if you can, and that was him demonstrating it in the moment.
Recall
as a rookie, 4 games in, which is that is phenomenal progress from training camp to now, and just shows the level of brain power that he's dealing with. And throw in on top of all of that he realized that DJ's annoyed, gave him a little space, let it simmer for a second, and then as a rookie he goes over, and we all saw the clip, and has the conversation. So he's not afraid to be in some level of uncomfortableness. He's not just going to avoid it. There's a ton to like there.
Yeah, you got to love it. So eventually I think they're going to have it figured out. I'm a little surprised that it's this off.
Yeah.
Because at camp it didn't feel that way at all.
But it also, and I apologize because I made this point on Hogan Johns this morning too, but remember when DJ Moore showed up here last year and instantly with Justin, it was like, even in OTAs, it was like, well, every time Justin throws DJ the ball, it looks great.
Right.
They are locked in. They are on the same page. The problem was, didn't look like that with anybody else except for Cole Kmet. And by the time, and that was fine by the time the season started. But it was like an instant connection with those two, and that carried over. That translated to the regular season. DJ Moore had a career year. I'm with you. That's the only thing is like, I think it'll keep getting better. We saw it get better in this game. We're going to talk about that play too here in this conversation. But they did connect for a touchdown later.
Right. And Caleb said, or not Caleb, DJ said that I was either the second or third read on that play. So that goes to show you how many times last year with Justin was DJ Moore the third read.
Right.
Never.
Let's hear what DJ had to say about the same exact play to hear his side of it. Here's DJ Moore.
We both was frustrated after that missed touchdown. He came over and we both talked about it. Got on the same page right then and there. Shouldn't be no more mishaps on like a ball like that going forward.
What did you see in that particular instance that made you take it back out?
It's a whole shot. So I was thinking he played outside. I had to go inside, widen back out, and then assess where the safety was. And he thought I was going to just run straight. And now we know we're going to go the Caleb way, and we're going to get it right.
Are you the type of... When you talk about getting on the same page, what does that entail here, through the time that you're together?
Just growing through the reps. We never had a clouded rep like that, and where the corner was trailing still. So it was pretty different. So it was, like I said, it was on me. Really wasn't knowing what he was thinking, but I was thinking one thing, like going back out, and we got it fixed now. So.
Are you the type of receiver to say, like, this is how I want this ball thrown on these kind of routes, or are you just kind of like, when we get to that play, we trust the chemistry and the work that we've done?
Yeah, I'm just the type to go out there and just trust it. We should have had a talk about that, but we didn't. It came up faster than expected, and we didn't connect on it.
DJ, as a veteran player, one who knows he's going to be here for a while, is it ever frustrating when it's essentially you've got a new quarterback learning a new system, all that kind of stuff that you have to be patient? Is it ever hard for you to be patient as a veteran player who's just ready to roll?
A little bit, and then it's not, because we was all rookies at one point being a vet. So I know what he's going through. You can't be too frustrated. You could be frustrated within the way you're playing, like as a player, but not at a young guy that's still coming along. So, yeah.
So I think the context here of DJ Moore's career matters too, because this was a guy who went through his fair share of bad quarterback play in Carolina.
Yep.
And as much as, I don't want to get into the Justin Fields conversation again, he did. Justin was probably the best quarterback he had, at least.
Had his most receiving yards last year with Justin.
He
in their first year together.
Right.
That's not easy.
And went to bat for him over and over and over again.
And then I would argue Caleb's the most talented quarterback,
which I'm sure he's aware of.
And so my guess is his frustration is probably the same frustration that we have and the fans have, which is just like what we were just talking about. Why is this taking so long? I'm guessing that's all this is. And missed opportunities like that on game day are going to be frustrating. Well,
when you say he probably realizes he's the most talented quarterback he's been with, in the summer at minicamp, they asked him, what's the biggest difference with Caleb Williams? And he had one word: anticipation. So he acknowledged that this guy throws with anticipation. You pointed out in ODK last week in the Colts game how many times he threw with anticipation, including to DJ Moore. So the thing that was most interesting to me, and I turned to Hoge immediately while we were watching it, and he said, we're going to do it the Caleb way. And that to me was a key word, because I found that really interesting, because to me, what I would have loved to know from DJ is that okay with you? Are you going to continue to try to make sure you're going to be where Caleb needs you to be? Or does Caleb need to also have an understanding of where you like the football and how you're going to run a particular route? Those things are such nuanced parts of developing chemistry between a quarterback and wide receiver. We've seen it so many times up north in Green Bay with all the different great wide receivers Aaron Rodgers has. That takes years to develop.
Right, and for the record, me here, I'm not on some level of this has to happen this week against Carolina, although it'd be sweet if it did. The sooner the better. Let's win some football games. But, I just okay, this is off. It won't be off forever. They're going to get on the same page. They're two very, very talented players. But it's just been sort of, I would call it stunning how off it's been.
Yeah, and there's this other quote we got to share too, and you can find this on our Twitter account at CHGO_Bears. When he got around to talking about the touchdown they connected on later in the game, which was a great ball by Caleb, and he wasn't the first read. So DJ gets to the line of scrimmage knowing he's not the first read on the play, and he's lined up against the linebacker. So he goes, I was probably the second or third in the progression, but I knew it had to get back to me with a linebacker. Laughing, Moore added, if this thing don't get back to me, we might have to have another discussion on the sideline. So, good to bring some humor to it, but also our producer Steven was in the room with us as we were watching this. He's like, that's not funny. Like, because you could tell that was one of those, yeah, we're having some fun joking around about it, but also, yeah, that would have been a problem if that ball did not come back to me. So we're definitely getting to the point where we're talking about a wide receiver that is not a diva wide receiver, hasn't been throughout his career, but is still a wide receiver in the NFL and wants the football.
Well, and all these guys talked about before the season, hey, we all want to be 1,000-yard receivers. Yeah. But now they're realizing what that takes. And DJ Moore being the third option on a play is something he's probably not used to. And Caleb having to work through those progressions. You know, you got to have time in the pocket to be able to do those things and build that chemistry. So,
and the reality is DJ's 43rd right now in receiving yards in the NFL. So you want that to increase.
You do.
All right. Let's talk about our friends at Shady Rays, because you want to get ready for the season ahead as we move into fall with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays will have you covered with premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames, crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. You can do what I did. I got multiple styles. I got my driving sunglasses. I got, if I'm going to go out for, a nice lunch or something, I got some fancier ones as well. They truly do have a bunch of different options for you to look for and find the fit that is best for you. And this is exclusive for our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. That's what I did. I used that code. You can try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And we're also sponsored by Chicago Sports Network, the new home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, the Bulls, and the White Sox. They got to feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They're Chicago-based, Chicago-built, Chicago to the core, and they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago, 77 neighborhoods and beyond. It's CHSN. Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more info on how to watch the Bulls, Hawks, and White Sox all season long.
So the comment, of course, that we just read about DJ Moore and the touchdown reception, even though it says in our caption, laughing, Moore added, if this thing doesn't get back to me, we might have to have another. Bears fans, of course, are taking it and completely freaking out about this. So, doesn't matter how much
it doesn't matter.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yes.
Calm down, everybody.
You can make.
No, don't calm down. Just do what you do.
Yeah, do what you do.
Live your dream.
Don't calm down. Freak out.
Be angry.
Laughing.
More
added.
Want to share the super chat real quick from Motor Music Michael. $50 super chat on a Wednesday. We appreciate it. It says, thank you guys for all the great content. The best dynamics on any sports talk show. Flying in from Colorado this weekend for the game and tailgate for my birthday. Just want to send you appreciation. Super for all the hard work you guys do. Bear down. Thank you so much, Mike.
Excited to see you on Sunday. Carm's going to be out there at 6 a.m. helping set up.
Say hi to me first, Motor Music Michael, or else we're going to have a problem.
How would he say hi to you first if you're the last to show up?
That's a great point.
You're having a rough day today. Just getting beat up.
Again, he deserves it though.
First of all, you know like how Flus likes to say time on task, time on tailgate. I crush you. You are your time on tailgate is.
How about time on pregame show?
Time on pregame show. You win. Time on.
Someone's got to do it.
Time on tailgate. I win. But don't Music City Michael did all your whatever you just did. What time you get there?
I'm glad you spent so much time at the tailgate. The last week's pregame show is not going to be winning any awards anytime soon.
Yeah.
I disagree. I thought that was a great show. I thought I was fantastic.
Well, really, Braggs wasn't there, so that was the problem.
What's wrong with the pregame show? It's a good show.
All right.
You got complaints on the pregame show?
No, I'm just kidding. I
take everything personally at this point in my life.
That's why I keep throwing it at you.
I'm getting to be more like Braggs. Next thing you know, I'm going to be complaining about
last thing on this. We got Baldy coming up in 10 minutes, and we got to get to a couple other things here. The coaching staff cannot be off the hook for this. There's 900 coaches on that sideline. So whatever the chemistry issues here, Can we get that figured out? And also, when DJ Moore is saying that Rome Odunze is so fast that he's feeling slow,
he's not lying, man.
can the Bears get him the ball then? Can you scheme something up?
Well, I would say they did scheme things up. There's a few plays out there that you can see for yourself. Anybody, that you don't have to be a film expert to see.
I understand what you're saying, but it seemed like they were coaching Caleb to check the ball down. So,
well, it's all a
and it all led to a win, so it's fine. I did like DJ's quote on that, by the way, when he was talking about all the checkdowns, because that's a thing. And he goes, well, as my coach says, you never go broke taking a profit.
I did like that
great
one
line. It's a great line.
Listen, not everybody can draft a quarterback in the top 2 and have them complete 80% of their passes.
I also think everything they showed against the Rams.
Caleb was like 73%. This is why we got in a fight in the pre-show meeting, by the way.
Caleb's completion percentage is 26.
Why don't you
in
just
the
put
NFL.
just put your Jaden Daniels jersey
I'm not
on.
doing anything. You're talking about the coaching staff. I'm talking about how he's being coached. I'm telling you that he's being the
But
guy,
that's why I'm excited.
The guy in Washington's being coached better than the guy here.
But that's why I'm excited for the Panthers game. From the Colts game, saw some development progression to then the win against the Rams and seeing him, play with maturity and check it down. And then they develop a run game. I think the last 2 games, if they can take all the good from those 2 things and combine them against the Panthers, a very winnable opponent, I hope to see the next evolution. That's what's so great about this right now. The beginning of the Caleb Williams journey is to be able to week watch this development grow to a bigger thing. It's exciting as a Bears fan.
Yep, go ahead. I got one that you're going to like next.
Okay. Well, there's no one in the world that can make an argument right now that Shane Waldron's done a better job than Cliff Kingsbury through the first 4 games. There's no question.
Thank you.
I would just redirect you. Maybe call him after the show or call both of them.
Call who?
Johnny Venerable from PHNX and Bo Brack from PHNX. Because as Johnny said on the All NFL show, very, very convincingly, just give it a few more weeks.
Okay.
This is a guy that covered Cliff Kingsbury. They've seen this story before. They seem convinced that defenses are going to adjust to what's going on there in Washington, and it's going to be a completely different story in a couple months.
And if we're talking about development of the quarterback and development of the offense, those are 2 different things too, right? Because the Commanders have ran the ball with effectiveness for 4 straight weeks.
And they have an offensive line.
Right. So that also goes into helping the quarterback develop. But so Waldron hasn't been perfect with the run game, but I do think he's doing a good job of developing singularly Caleb as a quarterback, now trying to get the rest of the offense underway.
You are right, Gregory, that the Commanders are good running the ball. 169.3. That's
really good.
That's
nice.
3rd in the NFL. By the way, what's a big part of that?
You can keep flashing it. He's not going to react to it.
Finish your thought. We're moving on to the next topic.
I'm in my thought.
Then we'll get to like 3 times.
Then I'll get to the graphic. Sorry. He's got 218 yards on the ground, Jaden Daniels does. That's 2nd in the NFL behind Lamar's 308. Flash the graphic.
It's a completely different topic.
Great.
Yes.
Someone flash Carm.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Well, yes. To put all this to bed for now, let's just live in happy land for a second, because this is always fun to do. As the Bears play the Panthers this week. Once again, a reminder at the trade and what the Bears got out of this. DJ Moore, who we've been talking about. Right tackle Darnell Wright. Tyreek Stevenson. Remember, they had the 61st pick. They ended up trading up to get Tyreek Stevenson with that pick they got from the Panthers. Caleb Williams, of course, number 1 overall this year. Torrey Taylor, as a result of moving back 1 spot to get Darnell
NFC
Wright.
Special Teams Player of the Week.
Yes, another player that Carm hates.
I despise this show.
Hey, man, there was literally a graphic on the show yesterday that said Carm hates Torrey Taylor. I don't know if it ever made it to the screen or
Yeah, it
not.
did.
But yeah, okay.
That's
That's
accurate.
great.
Yeah,
That's good.
2025 second
Can we get
round.
Cole Kmet back on her to tell him that?
2025 second round pick still coming, all for the Panthers' backup quarterback, Bryce Young.
Woo!
Phenomenal. Yay.
Pretty good trade.
Great job.
I still wish it kind of said Jalen Carter on that screen, but you know what? We can't all you can't bat 100 on it.
Gervon Dexter's not playing him. Phenomenal job.
I almost walked off the set.
Oh, he's not out playing him. He's not. He's not. No, he's not.
Sacks. He has more sacks.
Jalen Carter takes on a lot of double teams, triple teams.
Oh yeah, you're watching a lot of Jalen Carter action over there.
And
go watch the tape.
Watch the tape, huh? You're watching the tape.
ODK it.
Yeah,
ODK it. No, but anyway, just relax. I know you.
I might ODK.
No, this guy's watching.
Carm, I don't blame you.
I'm sure he is.
Carm, I don't blame you for being defensive today. You've been getting attacked.
Should I do it one more time?
No, we're gonna.
No, because this is something he put in our intro today.
Okay.
And this is where we are actually going to bring this up.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to talk about the guy?
Yeah, I do.
We literally have 4 minutes to talk about this before we take a break and bring in Baldy.
I'll go.
Okay, who do you want the Bears to trade for?
I want the Bears to call up the Raiders and make a proposal for Devante Adams. You know why? Because I like good football players, elite ones that play wide receiver. Does anybody? I love people like Hoge, who wants to make the argument in some way, shape, or form that like, yeah, we don't need Devante Adams. We're good. Why would we want that guy? One of the best receivers in the game. Why can't we? Can I get what it would? Can we make a call and find out what it would take to get Devante here? And my proposal is to build a package around a draft pick and Keenan Allen. They'll probably say no to, but hey, listen, I like dealing with organizations that don't know what they're doing. The Raiders are always a mess. Let's see, can we rip off the Raiders? I'm willing to try to see if we can rip off the Raiders. You guys don't even want to call the Raiders. I can't do that. No. Tom Brady would never want to come here.
Okay. Can I respond now?
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
One is my point is not that you don't call the Raiders. It's that it's not happening.
That's fine.
Okay. It's second. You're the guy that thinks that they shouldn't draft one of the best punters in the league because they have other needs, and yet you want to give up a second-round pick and more for another wide receiver who, yes, is talented, but remember what we just spent the first 20 minutes of this show talking about? Getting DJ Moore on the right page. Right. So let's add another dynamic receiver to cloud the whole situation more. Oh, and by the way, pay him $25 million on top of that. And give up more draft capital, all just because he's good. Just because there's no question Devante Adams is good. There's a lot more that goes into that than just bringing good players.
Okay,
right.
First of all, let's start with the first problem that you threw out there. That DJ Moore and Caleb Williams aren't on the same page. I'm not worried about that. They're gonna get on the same page. It's gonna happen. I don't care that it's taking 4 games, 5 games, 8 games. Give them half the season. Give them a whole season. Just get on the same page. They're both going to be here for a long time. They'll get there. I'm talking about adding a premier player who's available because the Raiders can't figure out what the hell's going on with their roster and how to use him or whatever, or the coaching issues. So I don't understand why you wouldn't be interested in at least – listen, do you think that Keenan Allen's going to be on the Bears next year?
No, I don't.
Right, neither do I. Okay, so – here you go. Here's a guy who's very productive, had 1,300-plus yards last year. Says he's healthy. The heels. Are you interested in that? And what else with it do we need to send to you?
Right.
Okay, what about the second-round pick you can use on a center?
I'm not.
Spring.
Right. That's the point. Is
instead of adding another Keenan Allen.
Right. That's the point, Carm. You're asking why would you not want him? Well, the money you'd have to pay him, $25 million, and
you're paying Keenan Allen that right now,
and the pick you'd have to give up to get him.
Yeah, that's the point. You already made this trade.
If all things are equal, of course you'd love to have a player like Devante Adams on your team, but you can't just get him for a 6th-rounder and then yes, you say, well, they're paying Keenan Allen that right now, right? So you can't.
I mean, my
how much are you going to stack the deck on this?
I'm trying to stack the deck as much as I possibly can. Listen, I just like to have conversations myself. Let's have a conversation. I'm not saying it's going to happen. How many second-round picks do we have next year? Remind me. Is it 1 or 2?
2.
I'll trade. You wouldn't trade our pick
for Devante Adams? No.
We've got the Panthers
for starting center. Yes. For another pass rusher, yes.
Dude, Hey, Caleb, you want to throw the ball to Devante Adams and DJ Moore for the next 4 years?
I don't understand how you don't understand. We got a break here, but all right, let's ask
That's
Baldy.
because-
This is the first question I'm going to ask Baldy is, do you think what would fix the Bears offense more, Devante Adams or literally any offensive lineman in the league?
You have the 33rd pick in the draft that you could take a center with. I'm not saying that you can't. Why can't we have both?
Well, instead of making things difficult, you need to make them easier.
Yes, you do.
By going to businesses to switch to electric vehicles. And that's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it, Carm.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to tell you, the electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with the confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van filled with a whole set of Devante Adams or a whole fleet of shipping trucks with Keenan Allen's aboard the truck, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should business owners do, Greg? You need a good pause before you do that thing, but you're still lovely, and I love you.
They should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
You bet your sweet bippy I did. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
And, Rugged Road is not just a place we need to send Carm with his Devante Adams take down a rugged road. Rugged Road is actually dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. The products are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions. Whether you're on land or water, Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure. One of the most unique features of Rugged Road coolers is their ability to always float upright. Never lose a drink. That sounds amazing. They're just going to float upright for you all the time. Unlike other heavy-duty coolers, Rugged Road coolers are incredibly light, making them easy to transport on any trip without compromising on performance. Crafted to handle the toughest environments, their coolers are built to last, ensuring they can keep up with any adventure. The coolers are guaranteed to keep their contents cool for up to 7 days, but oftentimes much longer than that. Perfect for a variety of outdoor activities, from fishing and tubing to camping and tailgating. These coolers are designed to meet the needs of every outdoor or sports enthusiast. So gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. Reliable, durable, and built to be used, Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use code CHGO for 10% off.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to lean? That was a great.
Have you changed your mind yet?
I'm just trying to have a conversation. That's all I'm trying to do over here. And, I'd be interested if
and that's,
by the way, what do you think the Jets and or the Chiefs, who no one thinks that they'll trade him, the Raiders will trade to in the division, and or the Saints, what do you think they're going to end up giving for Devante? Do you think they'll get the second round pick?
The word is they want a second round pick.
That's the word. Think they'll get it?
I think they can get it from the Jets. The Jets seem desperate for anything.
Jets, Chiefs, maybe. Chiefs definitely need a receiver right now.
Chiefs, I think everybody thinks is an option because of the injuries they've had at wide receiver, but the Raiders and Chiefs, that would be like the Bears trading DJ Moore to the Packers.
I think there was a report
they
this
would
morning
never
too
do
that the Chiefs thing ain't happening.
Well,
which makes sense.
Okay. I'm interested to talk to Brian Baldinger about.
You're just such a thought-provoking individual, and that's why we love you, Mark Carman.
Listen,
I
see you, chat. All you people that think we're in a courtroom.
Well, let's let's advance this conversation.
The chickens always come home to roost for Carm. He always wins at the end of the day.
Baldy, I want to warn you today as we bring in our guy Brian Baldinger. You're entering the war zone today.
What's the warning?
Baldy, I'm brilliant, and these two are just soft and weak and have no guts. That's what's going on.
That doesn't sound like somebody from Chicago, man. Soft and weak, man. Doesn't like
right.
That's not the Chicago people I know.
Well, let's bring you into this conversation. So Carm would like the Bears to at least make a phone call to the Las Vegas Raiders about Devante Adams. And Greg and I are trying to explain to him that, yes, Devante Adams is a great player and will probably help some team very much, but he is not what's ailing the Bears offense right now. That they would, if you're going to trade draft capital, I'd much rather use it on, I don't know, anybody on the offensive line to help advance this thing. Just that's as much as I can summarize that for you briefly. Just what is your reaction?
And Baldy, before you go, just my point is that the Bears have 2 second-round picks next year. Giving up one to get Devante, or hopefully I'm hoping a third-round pick, because who knows if they're going to actually get a second-round pick, and then using a center with the other one, I think that makes perfect sense.
I just don't see Devante being a fit. I just don't. He's going from one quarterback situation, which has been dreadful for him, to another quarterback situation where you're trying to develop a rookie quarterback. You got Keenan Allen there. He's basically, if Keenan stays healthy and gets going, he's kind of the same guy. Get Rome going. DJ finds the end zone. Okay. Get that going. They got the running game going. I don't think Devante is going to help this offense. I love Devante Adams. Everybody does. But I just don't see him being any kind of a difference maker right now.
Hey Baldy, it's I'm Ryan Poles. Or you're Ryan Poles, excuse me, and the Raiders are willing to take Keenan Allen in a third-round pick. You making that trade?
If they move Devante and they need a player, yeah, I would do it.
You're the Bears. I'm giving you Devante. We want Keenan in a third.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd give up on Keenan yet. They're 2-2. They're right in this race right now. I don't know if I would. If I would do that, I'd like to see a little bit more of Keenan. I'd like to see him healthy. And getting out there. I'd like to see a little bit more of them. They're kind of transitioning to this 3 tight end team, which was really good for them last week. I don't know how much of Keenan they're going to get. I really want to see Rome come on. So, but I'm not ready to give up on Keenan yet. I still think there's a place for him in this offense.
Yeah, well, let's get into the trenches, Baldy, because I know how much you love breaking down the trenches. That run game finally got going. It took 4 weeks, but they got there. Cole Kmet with a great block to open up a touchdown run for DeAndre Swift with the nice little fist pump at the end. It had to be a satisfying feeling for them to execute that. From your standpoint, what did you see from an execution level for the Chicago Bears run game?
Well, they went to a lot of 2 tight end sets. Mercedes is still at age 40 is still the best blocking tight end in the league. So him and Cole together in a YY kind of set was really good. I thought Matt Pryor going from right guard to left guard when Tevin got hurt. I thought he stood up pretty tall in there. He's not a great player, but I am a friend of Matt, so I sort of support the kid. He's a massive, massive guy, probably as big as Darnell or anybody else up front. He doesn't have great bounds, but he got in the way a little bit last week. They figured out a couple of runs, and they got it cranked up. But I thought the 2 tight ends sets were really, really important. In the touchdown run, they finally got a split. And DeAndre showed you. He made the play. He jumped right over, one of those defensive linemen, the Rams. It was a hell of a play on his part just to get to the space and then to get that explosive run. So it was encouraging. It was encouraging watching Swift and watching the line with the tight ends, go to work last week. And they looked like they were really conscious and made a real concerted effort to get that part of this offense working.
Can you explain to me why some offensive linemen just don't feel comfortable switching sides? And where I'm coming on this one is it was fascinating to me that the run game seemed to get going after Tevin got hurt. And like you mentioned, Matt Pryor moved over to the left side. Nate Davis comes back in the game. We've been talking about, I think we talked about it with you a couple weeks ago. Tevin Jenkins was playing right guard before Nate Davis got here. And the idea of having Tevin and Darnell Wright on the same side together is very appealing to a lot of us in Chicago to get that running game going downhill to that side. But Nate Davis, from the time he signed here, it's like, I play right guard. That's where I play. And he's now in a situation where he's literally been benched. He's on the bench. And you would think that at this point you'd be like, well, why not try Tevin on the right side and Nate on the left and see if maybe that's the combination across the board that gets things going. But that just doesn't seem to be on the table. Nate Davis is just a right guard, and that's the way it is.
It's the only position I've ever seen him play. Going back to the University of Charlotte, he was a right guard. He was right guard in Tennessee. He was terrible. One of the worst guards I've ever seen in my life, the rookie year. But he did get better, and his strength is run blocking. I mean, he's a smaller guy, but he's powerful. Gets underneath people. He gets movement. Matt Pryor was a third or fourth round pick by the Eagles, and you come to Philadelphia, and Jeff Stoutland's your coach. You get cross trained. You learn every position if you're a backup. You play right side, you play left side, you play tackle, you play guard. So he's trained at these other positions. So for Matt, and plus, he's trying to hang on this business. He's on his third team in 3 years. So he's trying to hang on. So he has to be able to go to the left side. He doesn't have the luxury of saying, no, I'm just a right guard. He can't do that. Like, if he wants to stay in this business, if something happened to Darnell, they'd probably put Pryor at right tackle. So, he has to be versatile. And he's been trained to be versatile. So I think he's got a little bit better feel to go immediately to left guard when Tevin got injured.
Baldy, on your Caleb-o-meter, how close do you think he is to hitting that next level? I know that, I know one play that I think everybody felt really good about was the throw to Komet down the seam over the linebacker. That was a sweet play. Showed a lot of confidence making that throw.
That throw, the throw to DJ, like what you saw last week. I know he didn't throw for a lot of yards, but you saw a real concerted effort to just trust the protection and stay in the pocket and win from the pocket. And he has that ability we've all seen, the splash plays when things break down quickly. But he really stayed in there last week, and he made 6 or 7 throws from the pocket on timing, including the throw to Komet down the seam. And it's a throw that a lot of quarterbacks will throw because it's kind of a blind throw down the middle of the field, whether it's a linebacker or whoever's covering that player. It's kind of hard to see the ball and the man at the same time. So you just have to put it to a spot. You got to beat the safeties that are going to converge. So that was a good throw. But he made a number of throws from the pocket, which I thought was a step. Now, he's not Jaden Daniels right now, but he doesn't play in Jaden's offense either. So I don't want to make any comparisons. But I do think that the step I saw was winning from the pocket on timing last week, and that was encouraging to me.
So, look, trust me, we don't want to make comparisons either. It's way too soon for that. That being said, I want to ask you about what Jaden Daniels is doing with Cliff Kingsbury, just kind of isolated to those two guys. Our friends at PHNX are saying, oh, we've seen this Cliff Kingsbury thing before. Like, give it some time. What are you seeing that's working with these two, and is it sustainable?
Oh, it's sustainable. I'm not 82% isn't sustainable. But, they've just played the Giants, the Bengals, all right, and last week, Arizona. And honestly, they've scored on every single drive except for 2. 3 games in a row. Yeah. Like, his ability to sustain offense right now, and because of he's such a fast twitch player without being in a hurry, meaning he can get out of harm's way quicker than anybody, or as quick as anybody, but yet he still stays calm. That's a skill that he has. He doesn't panic. He doesn't sack himself. But so he doesn't take negative plays. They stay on schedule. If Todd Bowles blitzes him like he did in the game against Tampa, as much as he did, he'll get out of the free hitter's way. He'll beat him. He ran, 16 times against Tampa. Allowed him for first downs. So that's number one. He can keep you on schedule. He sees the field very well, but that's Cliff. Cliff's, and I've been around Cliff a lot, but he had Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M. He had Baker. He had Mahomes. He had Kyler. He had Caleb. He's had all these guys, and his ability to create plays, literally draw up new plays every week, depending on the anticipated coverage in the down and distance and how to attack it and how to explain it to the quarterback. If the quarterback is studious and wants to put the time in the way Jaden does and has, the reads are going to be much, much, much quicker. And it's not one read. It's not a one-read offense by any stretch. But you're going to know the progression very quickly of where to go with the football.
Should the Bears have hired Cliff?
Yeah. I would encourage anybody to hire Cliff. Now, look, they did go to the playoffs with Kyler. He was a Pro Bowl quarterback with them. He did get hurt one year, and it's not the best organization in the world. I would hire Cliff in a second. I honestly, I used to do a lot of Texas Tech games for whatever reason. I did Big 12 games, and I'd meet with them every time at a home game on a Friday. And he has this big whiteboard in his office, and he'd be on the phone talking, whatever. I'd walk in his office, and I'd look at that whiteboard, and he'd have 10 new plays up there. Motions, shifts, formations. And I'm like, where'd this one come from, Cliff? The playbook just evolves. And I like that. As long as the quarterback and the offense has the basics down, where you can then take the basics, whether it's Y stick to start a first down drive, whatever. As long as you get the basics down, the fundamentals, like you can start tinkering and expanding, and that's what he's doing already.
Hit the like button for Baldy. Doing a great job on this is just premium stuff. Go ahead, Bryce.
Yeah, switching over to the defensive side of the ball, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, they've certainly embraced the bend but don't break Lovie Smith days that we've been used to. But these last 2 weeks, they're bending to an Indianapolis team where Anthony Richardson missed some shots that were open. And then this week, or this last Sunday against the Rams, they give up 5 scoring drives. The Rams actually had more scoring drives than the Bears did, and they missed a field goal, so really it should have been 6 scoring drives. Is there a little too much bend for a defense that we're all kind of looking at as one of the elite defenses in the league? Because Jalen Johnson seems to think they need to hold themselves to a higher standard.
Well, I don't disagree with Jalen. You look at Matt Stafford the week before against San Francisco, he did the same thing. Went up and down the field on him. I mean, this guy is just a salty old pro, and I don't care who he's throwing to, Jordan Whittington or, Tutu Atwell. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, the guy knows where to put the ball. I thought they did enough good things in the game. They gave up, like Kyron Williams led the NFL last year in rushing yards per game. McCaffrey led the league in rushing, but Kyron led the league in rushing yards per game, over 100 yards a game. The guy is an elite back, and he's very difficult to tackle. And so they've got some components that are really, really good. And they went up and down the field in the 49ers the week before and won the game. San Francisco didn't hand it to them. So they did give up a lot last week. Kyron Williams is a hell of a back. I mean, the fact that they won the game against a resilient team and a well-coached team that knows how to protect, really knows how to protect at a different level than most teams in this league, because they have to, because of Stafford. I thought they gave up a lot of yards. They gave up some plays, but I at the end, they won the game. And look, the Rams had a chance at the very end to get to Brisker interception. So, he had 2 interceptions. He had one where he was out of bounds. So, I thought they did enough to make the plays that they needed to make.
So that's, to me, you think this is sustainable for this defense, where regardless of the quarterback or the play caller or the running back they're going up against, that this is kind of going to be the baseline of what we look at week to week of what they're allowing the other team to do?
I think that this defense is going to get better, because I think Austin Booker is going to become a player. You saw flashes last week, but between Booker and Sweat and Taylor, the interior are playing very well right now. The linebackers are really active. I feel like this has a chance to get better. I think if Austin keeps coming on a little bit, and it takes a while for the light to go on in a lot of situations, I think they're going to have a little bit more versatility about how to get to the quarterback and affect him. I have no question that Jalen Johnson at the end of the year is going to have 5 or 6 interceptions. He sees everything too well. He plays the game the right way. They got a real chance to be, a top 10 defense for sure, but a defense that could take the ball away in the top 10 as well. And that's going to keep them in a lot of games in a very tough division right now.
Are you still taking the Lions as your top team in the North, Baldy?
Well, the quarterback just went 18 for 18. They couldn't be stopped the other day. I like him. Carlton Davis on DK Metcalf was a great matchup. I think they're the most talented team in the division. But Minnesota is lights out good, really good. And so these games, I think this division, especially with Jordan Love coming back and what he looked like in the fourth quarter, I think this division is going to become what we thought the AFC North was going to be before the season. I think this is going to be the division that you have to watch every one of these games. Like, it's just going to be that competitive.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. It's like, even if the Bears improve here and keep getting better, it's just the road to having a chance to win this tough division just seems like it's going to be, next to impossible.
Steep.
Yeah. Doesn't mean they can't sneak into a playoff spot maybe, but the division seems tough. Baldy, I want to ask you a question that you used a phrase in your breakdown of Montez Sweat's strip sack the other day that I had not heard before. Chalkboard protection.
Oh, yeah.
What did that mean?
So, I mean, Sean McVay he is a master. I learn every game I watch that guy coaching. I learned something. But, they got Montez Sweat lined up against a tight end, and they got a wide receiver coming across and chipping him. Like, Montez sees that. Like, first of all, tight ends can't block Montez. Like, it's just not allowed. So you're going to dismiss him and then just throw the wide receiver out of the way, and you're going to slide the protection to the other players. And, I mean, I played with Reggie White, and Reggie would see those chalkboard protections, and he would just laugh. And he'd throw the tight end out of the way, just hump him and dump him. And then whoever else, the running back coming to chip him, like he'd jump over him. And it looks good on Wednesday when you're drawing it up. It looks good on Thursday when you're walking through it. Montez sees that on the field, it's going to be a sack. And that's what it was.
Baldy, you're the best.
Well, before you go, Baldy, real quick, because I always like to get your thought on the upcoming opponent.
Okay.
The Panthers. Feels like the Bears cannot lose this game with all the mudslinging we've given the Panthers for that trade, a couple of years ago that has kind of set the Bears up for the future. The Panthers have played a little better football with Andy Dalton here under center, and gave it a good game here last week, even though they lost. So your expectations of the Bears-Panthers here coming up on Sunday?
Well, things have completely changed with Andy Dalton at quarterback. They had a chance to win the game last week against Cincinnati, even though they were down 2 touchdowns. I mean, Dalton firing Deontay Johnson, like all these young receivers, Xavier Legette, like the running game. The right guard is a beast. Robert Hunt. They play much better offensively. So that's a challenge there. Defensively, they're still not very good, but they play better with Andy Dalton. Like, they're playing with more confidence. They should win the game, but you can't take this team lightly for 1 second. They are a completely different team. Dalton knows exactly where to go with the ball. He's seen it all, and he's playing probably as well as I've seen him play in a long time. And I don't know, like, they're a competitive team right now. And the first 2 weeks, they weren't competitive at all.
I don't like to let negative thoughts enter my brain. I just want to think the Bears are going to win every week. But the one that has crossed my mind here the last couple of days, hearing the Bears at the press conferences talk about going over to London. For us, we're planning all our plans for next week. All the talk this week is about what we need to do. Every day we're in London. For players, I'm sure it's got to be the same thing, right? There's travel, family, there's so many things. So is this a trap game because everyone's thinking about what they have to get done next week in London?
It could be. It happens. I mean, look, the Jets are going to London to play Minnesota this weekend. I know they're leaving Thursday night, get there Friday morning, have a walkthrough of practice, and basically play the game. They're going to try to get all their work done before they go. I don't know what the Bears' plans are, but if they're thinking ahead to London, then yes, this could be a trap because Andy Dalton's got nothing to lose. He's not supposed to be in this situation. He's supposed to help out the young quarterback, and here he is. He's just going out there honestly and letting it fly. And I haven't seen Deontay Johnson play this good in years. Like, he is a legit receiver right now. And I thought he was just a guy in Pittsburgh, but he's winning his routes. Legette doesn't know what he doesn't know, but he's a big old country boy that can run, and he's strong. Jonathan Mingo, I don't know, the offense line is pretty good. So if the Bears are looking ahead to London, they're going to get it handed to them, I think. So I would stop all that London talk right now and look at the Panthers' last 2 games because they look like a completely different team.
The Bears are going Monday to get there Tuesday morning, which I think is a better plan than last time they went on Thursday, got there Friday. It didn't go so well.
That's when I'm traveling.
Yes.
With
So,
the Bears.
Baldy, thanks so much. Great stuff.
You bet. All right, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, we'll
See
talk
you,
to you
Baldy.
next week when we're in London. Yep, we're not looking ahead yet, quite yet. We are looking ahead to Nicholas is jumping in here with an Iowa punt shirt.
It's like Baldy spawned into Nicholas Moreano there.
Yeah.
That's a great shirt, Nick.
An upgrade or a downgrade?
It's for looks wise, nobody tops you.
You guys
Nick.
are both on the call, so
are
that was a tough question to answer right there in that moment. Baldy's gone now. Upgrade. It's an upgrade.
I mean, looks wise, Nick, nobody tops you. So you've got the cake there. But
Nick,
Baldy with football acumen, I mean, I don't know. Baldy's pretty damn smart.
Nick, what happened in the locker room?
Yeah. So obviously on Wednesdays I like to just gather information for the diehard articles I like to do. But we got to hear from the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week and Tory Taylor, and I thought there were some interesting comments that he had when he spoke to the media. One of the questions he was asked you guys, just to justify the draft position, and I think Mark Carman, you in the middle over here, listen to this answer that Tory Taylor gave. He said I want HT, Coach Hightower, and Ryan Poles to look like absolute geniuses after this pick that he made, and mentioned, the game that he had in Indy was a kind of like a D game in terms of grading himself, and then he gave him an A for the game that he had against the Rams, where he just wants to find more consistency, but he's all about wanting to prove people right and maybe also prove some people wrong that he was a good pick for the Bears and could be a part of them winning games moving forward.
Mark?
Hey, Nick, what's your favorite punting stat?
Favorite? I would like inside the 10 is probably one that you want to look at. Distance, average hang time. So, I mean, there's a bunch of them that you can probably look at that would quantify as a good punter.
Sure.
Inside the 10, huh?
I like
Okay.
that one that's in Mark's face.
What
That's my favorite part.
do you like? Do you think net yards for punt matters? Do you like net yards? Does that matter to you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's probably context too in terms of it.
Where do you think Tory ranks in the NFL, Nick?
Oh, here comes a bad faith argument. Here we go.
Oh, I don't know, Mark. Could you have all the stats, sir? What can you tell me?
Setting you up, Nick.
It's 18th, Nick. 42 yards a punt. That's I'm pretty certain that's bottom half. By the way, you know who's 17th, Nick?
Is it Trenton Gill?
No. More recent. I think you got to view him a lot this past training camp.
Who? I'm like
Corliss
right
Waitman. He's now a Steeler. He was in camp. He was booming away. Didn't cost a 4th round pick. But no problem.
You're gonna die on this hill, aren't you? You're literally gonna die on this stupid hill.
God willing, Nick.
12 punters in the league. Hey, Nick, do you care about touchbacks?
Yeah, touchbacks. Yep, I do care about
12,
touchbacks.
There's 12 punters in the NFL that have no touchbacks. Do you know what 12? There's 11 that have 1 touchback. That's 12 plus 11. That's 23. And there's 7 punters who have 2. That would be Tory.
You want to leave?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Can we just walk off? Let him just do this.
Hey, Nick, have you ever heard of A.J. Cole?
The name sounds familiar.
You know who A.J. Cole is there, Hoger?
Can't tell you who he plays for though.
I'm done talking.
Hey, Braggs, you know who A.J. Cole is?
I'm not talking to you.
All right, well, he's an undrafted free agent who's the number 1 punter in the league. He punts for the Raiders.
You know what? Now I don't regret throwing you under the bus with Cole.
No, I definitely don't.
He brought it up. You two.
No, I'm sorry. How many of those punters that you've named have been named NFC Special Teams?
It's an award.
That's a good question.
Award.
Mr. Derrick Rose should be in the MVP because of 1 award. Awards don't matter.
Derrick Rose should have his number retired because of the MVP thing. That's a different argument.
Just join us, Mark. Just join us. We'll take you
like
back.
having
I'm not joined.
When he sees people having fun, it's like Scrooge.
Yeah.
He gets angry and tries
Nick,
to figure out
This
how to
man
ruin
walked in
that.
here this morning and chose murder. He walked in with 1,000 words in notion about how Jaden Daniels is better than
No, I did not. No, I did not. Don't throw me under that bus. That's not a bus.
Or are we denying this bus now?
I'm not denying any buses.
So it did happen.
You know what? I just want to talk to Nick and be happy. I don't want to entertain Mark's craziness.
Don't worry, be
any
happy.
more than we already have. So Nick.
Thank you, Jason McKenna in the chat. Carman, I'm with you. These guys ignore facts. Thank you, Jason.
What else did we learn today at Halas Hall, Nick?
Everybody else.
Save us.
Everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know if it's any new news because the press conferences have happened a little while ago, but just some injury updates, you guys. Tevin Jenkins still working through that ribs injury, and so is DeAndre Carter, both having ribs that they're dealing with. Jacob Martin was brought up today, Bears defensive end, if anybody forgot, but Eberflus said he's staying on IR, haven't started his window yet, but he was a guy that was getting some reps with the first team at opposite defensive end, but they're not opening up that window as of now. And in regards to Tevin, what Eberflus was asked, will the line stay the same if he can't go? And, Eberflus acknowledged that they're still kind of working through that and kind of evaluating what the line is, but it's still a possibility that what you saw at the end of the Rams game, having Nate Davis at right guard, Matt Pryor at left guard, would be one possible combination if Tevin Jenkins is unable to go. I thought it was, guys, an interesting question what Matt Eberflus was asked. Like, what did you know was going to be good about this defense? And he mentioned the linebacker play. He said the continuity there going from year 1 to year 2 with TJ and Tremaine. He knew that group would be good. He also mentioned the secondary, just gelling and understanding what they're supposed to be doing. The group that was left off, and maybe this was by, a mistake by Flus or maybe done purposely, but the D-line did not mention that he would know that would be a group that would be good going into the season. Obviously, you have Montez Sweat, but you had some improving guys and guys that still need to show more. Like I think Trevon Dexter in year 2 is showing some really good things, but that was a group that he left off in his answer. And then really quickly, Eberflus was asked about Caleb Williams and just trusting Caleb. The question specifically is like, do you trust Caleb more than other rookie quarterbacks in terms of what he's doing at the line of scrimmage? And what the word that Eberflus kept bringing up was like evolution. And he mentioned like just leveling up. When he said in the second game, there's all the noise in Houston, was able to kind of overcome that, put some games together. And now he's just playing point guard and just distributing the football. And, those checkdowns that we saw a lot of in last week's game against the Rams, that's a good thing. According to not only Eberflus but Caleb Williams, you're taking what the defense is giving you, and we know we want to see more of those explosive plays from this Bears offense. Currently, the Bears are last in total explosive plays in the run and pass, but it's not a bad thing if you're taking the checkdowns, especially if that's what the defense is giving you on that specific play.
Nick, as far as listening to Bears quarterbacks, as your time as a reporter and as your time as a Bears fan, not to overrate one press conference, but as far as breaking down what's going on the field, does anyone even remind you of how well Caleb did it today when he's recalling the couple of the plays from last week?
I think it's just a polar difference from like even how like Justin Fields would approach press conferences sometimes. We know that at times there wasn't too much information, but you can just tell that it's almost like Jalen Johnson, how he kind of recites the question. You could just tell that Caleb really thinks about it. And just the whole play he was breaking down between DJ and him in the right part of the end zone that didn't get, caught. Just breaking down what he saw defensively, what he thought DJ was going to do, and what he ultimately did. But then, talking about it on the sidelines, like, we knew that we were both frustrated, so we didn't go and talk to each other initially. But I just think that Caleb, ever since he's gotten here, he's been pretty detailed. And I do appreciate that about him, regardless of the question or the outcome of, a play or a game. Like, he will give a thoughtful answer and one that's not just being like kind of brushed off. So I do appreciate that about him.
I mean, it certainly seemed like he was like last week. It started to feel like in the press conferences he was getting, I don't want to say nervous, but it just definitely felt like a calmer press conference today. Definitely feels like the win, getting back to 500. Right, DJ Moore referenced the fact to get back to 500 has kind of got them taking a reset or a breath of fresh air a little bit here. Because there was, development in the Colts game, but it was in a loss. So do you feel like now they're getting closer to breaking through because they're making progress, but also off a win?
I think it's just easier, like correcting things off of a win. I mean, we've seen it with this Bears team. Like even if Caleb had played well or statistically played well in the game against the Colts, like obviously they didn't come away with the most important thing was the victories. But I do think that, when you come into work the next day, yes, you still made mistakes in that game, but it's just easier to kind of go about correcting them, knowing that you came away with the victory. And it seems like, with that one play that keeps getting brought up between DJ and Caleb, they're going about it the right way. I know maybe TV cameras were seeing there's it looks like DJ's disgruntled about the play, but they do talk about it eventually. Not right initially when it's happening because they know they're both frustrated, but they're just approaching things the right way. And as long as they're doing this in a proactive way, hopefully you're seeing those disconnects become, potential touchdowns. Like that play could have easily been in last week's game against the Rams.
Since Carman wants to throw out a bunch of random punting numbers.
Random.
Oh, he dialed it up.
Here comes the random net yards of punt.
I'm just saying I can do it
Random.
too. This is from the release that came out today on Taylor's NFC Special Teams Player of the Week award. Taylor's 55.4 yard average for the game registered as the third highest mark in a single game by a Bears punter since at least 1960, setting the franchise's single game record by a rookie. In the fourth quarter, Taylor logged a career-long 66-yard punt, placing the ball out of bounds at the Rams' 8-yard line. I'd like to know how many, since he's looking up numbers, I'd like to know how many punters in the entire league / world have done that in the last 5 years. 66-yard punts inside the 8, securing his third punt of the game down inside the opposition's 20-yard line, tying his own single-game high. Through week 4, Taylor ranks top 5 in the NFL in total punts landed inside the opponent's 20-yard line, with his 9 punts down inside of the 20, ranking the most by any Bears punter through their first 4 career games since at least the 1970 NFL-AFL merger, and the most among all rookies in the NFL through the first 4 weeks.
What?
So you know what I really appreciate more than everything that's going on right now is how much passion Bears fans have for the punter. I mean, this chat's wanted to fire me probably 198 times, if not 1,980. But the punter thing,
Me too.
is
You're on fire today. I mean, you got the Jaden Daniels versus Caleb, the punter hate.
We didn't even do Jaden,
and then you want to trade Keenan Allen for Devante Adams. You're on fire today. Like,
that'd be terrible. I wouldn't want to give up Keenan Allen, who's going to be here for 5 games, for Devante Adams. That'd be horrible. Hey, Nick.
You know what? Genius is never normally appreciated in its time. And, we all gave you shit for Derek Carr last year, and the chickens came home to roost this year. So
listen,
time will tell.
Let's not pay attention.
Not going to rule it out as a possibility that you might end up being right.
Hey, pure.
Right now, you look like an idiot.
Pure boomers just kicking it. Nick, for to back you up, and you too, Hoge. I mean, pure boomers just kick it as far as you can. Take net out of there. I mean, Torrey kicks it farther than anyone. 19th in the league, 47.9 yards per boomer. Gross.
You're a boomer.
Yes.
Are you a boomer?
No, I'm not a boomer.
You're a boomer bum.
Hey, Nick, go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Go Hawks.
Iowa, idiots out wandering around, of which apparently, according to many in the chat, I am one of.
Yeah.
Class of 96, baby.
I wasn't aware of that acronym, but okay.
Idiots out wandering around, that's us. By the way,
I thought you didn't graduate.
Didn't graduate?
I'm sorry, Nick.
No, there's one person on the show that
Oh, that was Lawrence. Sorry. That was Lawrence.
Yeah. No, this guy graduates, buddy.
I don't know.
Zachary Mitchell in chat saying that Torrey Taylor's top 5 in punts down inside the 20.
Right.
Maybe the most key stat of a punter.
He's also
Did you just say that?
But Zachary said it's shut up, Nick. Zachary, I'm giving Zachary a shout out. I blacked out through all of this arguing over here.
Would the amount of opportunities to kick the ball inside the 20 matter to you on that? Because he's got the 5th most punts in the NFL. Shout out to Dr. Shakenstein.
Well, that's all because the Bears don't have Jaden Daniels and Devante Adams. If they had Jaden Daniels and Devante Adams, they wouldn't punt as much, then they wouldn't need to use the 4th round.
How about if they picked an offensive lineman who could clear the way in the 4th round? Maybe they wouldn't be punting as much either, Hoge.
Everything okay, Nick?
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of these name tags over here. One says Kevin Warren.
They did not listen. They didn't need any other players at any other position. They were absolutely right to make a luxury pick in the 4th round. You guys are right.
Go Hawks.
Bye, Nick. Have a great day.
I'm leaving.
Nick will be here tomorrow.
Roster's
Herb Howard.
built.
And
we're going to the Super Bowl. We were a punter away.
Do you know how much I wish I had a remote that could just remove me from the show too right now? Actually, I thought this was a great show.
I really enjoyed the show today. It was great.
I hate it.
I haven't been this hated in a moment. Maybe silently, but this is some good outrage.
With all this punter talk, I just want to direct everyone to the 85 from yesterday. We had Tory Taylor on. He's a great interview. He went into some of the nuance of punting, and I thought it was just really entertaining.
Are we good with Taylor Dowell's nickname Kingpin? This has been all the discussion for what the nickname will be. Some people are trying to bring Legatron back, but other kickers have already been named Legatron.
No, Kingpin's good. The
Tory
weapon,
Taylor didn't like.
I still like the weapon.
Right. The crocodile punter, Tory Taylor said, do not call me that.
Yeah.
The weapon, was what everybody referred to him as he was drafted. But Kingpin.
Yeah,
I think
Kingpin's
Kingpin is a solid nickname because he does pin it.
Not according to Carm.
Inside the 10. And Carm doesn't appreciate that. But we do. We appreciate Taylor Dowell for coming up with a great nickname. Word on the street is she might be joining us at the CHGO Bears tailgate on Sunday.
All right. Shout out to I didn't catch your name when you did it, but shout out to whoever put in chat. Does Carm remember Ray Guy? That is my era, and he was a 1st-round draft pick.
Well, as I said on the pre-show, Brad Maynard, more recently, in a Bears relevance, was drafted in the 3rd round.
Surprised they didn't win a Super Bowl drafting a punter in the 3rd round. What are you laughing at?
You're just an asshole.
I'm laughing that Nick already texted saying, I don't think we need to cut that segment. There wasn't much in there. That's fantastic.
I thought that was
he actually beat me to it. I was going to text him.
Yeah. But, you can't hit him home runs every day.
Oh, man.
It's fantastic.
This was a foul ball.
You're not taking any breaks, you Pizzatola.
I'm going to invite Pizzatola into the studio on a daily basis since you won't listen to us in our pre-show meeting where we're like, that's not going to go over well. Maybe Pizzatola can help.
Can we get Pizzatola at a tailgate?
I would love Pizzatola. I want Pizzatola.
We cannot have Pizzatola at a tailgate.
Pizzatola, I'll pay for your ticket.
What do we have to, I guess
at
some point, I definitely feel like our biggest tailgate would be if we did a dunk tank with Carm sitting in it.
Yeah,
great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Why don't we wait till December when I'll get pneumonia and die?
That's even better.
Yeah, let's. I'll get out there. I'll go shirtless. We'll get the dunk tank.
Nobody wants that.
Take it easy.
Maybe a wetsuit.
Yeah,
great.
All right, we got to go.
Super chats. Read every single one of them.
I'm gonna just.
I'll do them
with me and the supers.
2
days in a row.
$4.99. Samson Gordrew. Goudreau. Samson, my guy. Hey, Jets.
Samson.
Hey, Jets. In my travels on the Bears Twitter sphere as Sam the Jedi, I've seen a lot, but never thought I'd see people say DJ Moore is not a wide receiver 1. Thank you, Samson.
Sam the Jedi. He's a good follow on Bears Twitter. I don't know. It's not a knock on DJ Moore, but I am certainly paying attention to.
We don't have time for that.
Rome Odunze.
I
know we spent way too much time talking about the goddamn punter.
Have the conversations that you have in your head with yourself in your head the rest of the day.
I will have more nuanced Bears conversations on Spaces today than I did on this show.
I saw you were on a Spaces on my way down here.
Upset?
It was like
I'm not upset.
Frog.
But I have a Rome thought. I can't even get it out because of you. Now I'm not mad for all the things that happened to you this morning.
DJ Cal $4.99. I think Caleb has I think Caleb has a lot on his plate and is trying to build chemistry with his primary receiver. It will probably get better when CW is more comfy. No doubt about that, DJ. Does have a lot on his plate. It is going to get better. By the way, the Bears' offensive line is getting a whole lot better.
By the way, we don't have time. Shut up, Jared. $4.99 super chat. My diehard Jags fan brother, I'd say poor guy, but Bears, drilled this into me years ago. My turn to be that guy.
Good read there. Thank you, Jared. Zachary Hilborn, $1.99. Thank you, Zachary. Carm, you're so disconnected. Please stop. No problem, Zachary. Show's almost over. Lou Bear down, $1.99. We did rip off the Raiders. Shake my head, cram. What's he referring to? That I'm forgetting?
I don't know. Kevin Carlson, $20 super chat.
Getsy rip? I'm not sure.
Carm, stop the madness. O-line is the next solution to years of success. Adams would stop that from happening.
How about the old hypocrisy of everybody wanting the 4th-round pick to be a punter when we could have used an O-lineman, but now they don't want Adams?
But now you want to trade a 2nd-round pick.
Garbage man Steve. Garbage man
you don't understand that.
Garbage man Steve. Can't wait to go to my first CHGO tailgate this Sunday. Bear down. Go to allchgo.com/events. You can get to our tailgate this Sunday as the Bears take on the Panthers. Corner of Wabash and Cermak. A lot of fun to be there.
Garbage man, please say hi to me.
Was he referring to the Khalil Mack trade? Maybe that's what I was talking about.
Yes. Garbage man Steve says Bates becomes available. Can't read. Next week, do we try him at center?
Yes, try anybody at center.
Larry Borum.
Put Doug Kramer
Borum's
there.
Available to come off.
Put Doug Kramer there. The guy is a monster.
Mouse Tanker, $2 super chat. Torrey going to be pinning inside the 10 all season.
The best part about this is every time he does that, Carman's going to hear about it.
Kareem.
This guy's going to be on the team for a decade.
Kareem, $4.99 super chat. Carm, the GOAT, even if he was wrong about the crocodile punter.
That's what I'm talking about. Kareem, you don't have to be right about everything, even though I was right.
Gritty. Carm, stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, shrug emoji.
That's a great one by Gritty.
Unknown Arc.
Get some
41.
help.
You want to do it?
Nope. Sure. Unknown Arc 41, $4.99.
J voice.
This show would be great without Carm. LMAO. You'd miss me, Unknown Art. Don't worry.
You are Unknown Art.
Teddy Spittler's my guy.
All right.
Carm's my god.
Finish the show.
Hoge's my daddy.
Finish the show, Carm, apologizing to everybody.
They're leaving. I would like to thank Adam Hoge, Greg Braggs Jr., Stephen Nicholas, Tony Gill, Jake Flanagan, Kevin Kaduk, Lawrence Benedetto, you, Giddy Bear, Michael Meister, Carm is the worst man, Dave Man, all my people out there for being so supportive to all the thoughts and all the conversation. We look forward. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. They'll be rocking and rolling, but I will see you Sunday and see you in London. And I love all of you. I think, by the way, this shirt. We all see